Why patience is central to Eala's rise on the WTA Tour. Following an impressive showing in the Mubadala Abu Dhabi Open, Eala rose to a career-best number 40 in the WTA rankings, signifying her continuous development this season. She is the first player from the Philippines to break into the WTA Tour top 40 rankings. But alongside that improvement is the challenge to remain among, and be on par with, the best female tennis players in the world. Eala had a chance to showcase her wares on a bigger stage at the Qatar TotalEnergies Open, but she struggled in her first WTA 1000 tournament of the year. The Filipina slipped to a first-round exit in Doha, at the hands of Teresa Valentova of Czechia, losing in straight sets, 6-7, 6-8, 1-6. The opening set was tightly contested, with Eala and Valentova trading stretches of control. Valentova struck first, breaking early and consolidating for a 2-0 lead, but Eala responded by sharpening her service games and stepping up on return. Eala reeled off 4 straight games that featured 2 breaks to lead 4-2, but Valentova halted the run, then claimed a timely break in the 8th game to level the set at 4-4. Neither player blinked from there, holding serve through 6-6 to force a tiebreak. Valentova surged to 6-3 in the breaker, but Eala showed resolve to save all 3 set pieces and draw level. Valentova steadied, however, and won the next 2 points to close out the set. The 18-year-old Czech built on that momentum and won the first 5 games of the second set, en route to claiming the victory. Valentova also defeated Eala in their previous meeting in the 2025 Kinoshita Group Japan Open in October, which she won 6-2, 6-1. Eala's setback in Doha ultimately underscores that progress on the WTA Tour is rarely linear, especially for a player learning how to live with expectations. Eala's strong start to the season sees her in a position where her name now carries more weight on the draw sheet. And her career-high ranking is associated with a subtle but real shift. Opponents prepare differently, study patterns more closely, and step on court ready more prepared to play their best tennis against her. Physical fatigue is another factor in these back-to-back events. Eala's busy early schedule, from New Zealand to Australia to the Philippines and the Middle East, means her body and mind have been constantly being tested. It's not unusual for rising players to show signs of wear as the season progresses, particularly when transitioning from Grand Slams and WTA 500s into the deeper fields of WTA 1000 events. These are the moments where resilience and recovery plans become as important as stroke production. From a technical standpoint, this stretch also reinforces where the next layer of growth lies. Eala has proven she can compete from the baseline and absorb pace against elite players, but holding serve consistently under pressure remains a key separator at the top level. Against the tour's best returners, first serve precision and variation become non-negotiable. Eala already has the tools and competitive instincts to elevate that weapon, so it's a matter of refinement rather than reinvention. More importantly, these moments fit the long view of player development. Losses in big tournaments are often the moments that shape habits, inform adjustments, and sharpen priorities. Learning how to handle being scouted, how to pace a season, and how to reset after tough weeks are skills that top players acquire over time. For Eala, both internal and external patience will be crucial as she continues to build toward sustained success. The defeat in Doha will see her drop at least 3 ranking spots, with Valentova among the players to rise past her, but the Filipina has a strong support system, so such setbacks should become part of the process rather than a setback to her long-term potential. The patience within the rise. Why patience isn't just a virtue, but the heart of Eala's ascent in women's tennis. At first glance, the meteoric rise of Eala on the WTA Tour might look like a fairy tale sprint, a dazzling run to the semifinals of a WTA 1000 event, historic wins over towering champions, and a national spotlight shining on a young star who represents a whole country's hopes. But walk deeper into her journey, through training routines in Spain, through setbacks and close losses, through season-long tests of resilience, and you'll find a quieter, steadier force at work: patience. Patience isn't the flashy headline. It doesn't come packaged in stunning upset headlines or photo finishes. Instead, it lives in the quiet miles of preparation, the unglamorous early mornings, the breath-by-breath work of improvement that cumulatively builds mastery. In Alex Eala's story, patience has been central, not merely helpful, to her journey on the WTA Tour. 1. The long arc of development, from childhood to world stage. Every great athlete's story begins long before the spotlight. For Eala, it began as a small child in Quezon City, Philippines, first holding a racket at age 4. Tennis was not just a hobby. It was a process of building fundamentals, entering local tournaments, and absorbing lessons from each rally. These early years are often overlooked, but they're foundational, learning consistency, understanding movement, and, crucially, accepting that progress rarely happens overnight. The patience required in these earliest years is similar to the patience needed in adulthood. Stick with the routine even when immediate gains are not visible. Training at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, one of the top tennis institutions in the world, only intensified this process. Here, she wasn't training to impress, she was training to improve. This meant long drills, repetition under Coach Joan Bosch's guidance, technical analysis, and time to find balance between attack and control. It meant absorbing philosophy as much as tactics. Growth on the tour is a marathon, not a sprint. Without this patient foundation, a fleeting breakout wouldn't have become a sustained rise. 2. Breakthroughs that needed patience, the Miami Open and beyond. The spotlight moment is often where people look first, a young wild card breaking barriers at the Miami Open by defeating former Grand Slam champions, entering the semifinals of a major WTA 1000 tournament, and catapulting herself into the top 100 rankings, the first Filipina ever to do so. It's easy to label this overnight success, but that would be wrong. Behind those headline victories were years of matches where she didn't win, months where progress felt incremental, and experiences that sowed skills for later triumphs. Imagine being the underdog stepping onto a big court against Madison Keys or Iga Swiatek, legends of the sport. Patience was not just a physical quality in those matches but a mental narrative, staying calm in rallies, choosing when to attack and when to reset, and holding emotional balance even when the stakes felt monumental. These patient decisions, ball by ball, point by point, cumulatively produced the confidence to withstand pressure and play fearless tennis. In other words, Eala's breakthrough wasn't a flash. It was the reward of patience. 3. Learning through loss. Patience with setbacks. No introduction to patience is complete without setbacks, the inevitable losses that test an athlete's resolve. After her impressive season, Eala faced some tough matches on the tour. At bigger events like the Qatar Total Energies Open, she exited early, underscoring how unpredictable and competitive the WTA circuit can be.